Okay, so hi everybody, welcome to this webinar by Humanware. My name is Nathalie Réaume. I am the product manager for Humanware for Low Vision products. Today I'm going to be doing the webinar with Eric Beauchamp. He's the director of product management. We are going to be talking about the most important criteria when choosing a visual aid for low vision. So let me share with you my second page of PowerPoint. So what we will see today is how to choose a low vision product. So the objectives will be to list at least 5 tasks you or your client need to do, evaluate 1 or 2 needs for portability, name at least 3 strengths to see if you're computer savvy, evaluate your need for connectivity, evaluate your need to keep files or picture. So we will answer those questions with many other questions, and we will present you the Reveal 16, Reveal 16i, the Connect 12, and the Explorer 5 and 8. So let me stop sharing my screen so I can see you. Very good. So I see that people are still coming in, but we may start with just one presentation. So I'm going to show you one other product, which is the Reveal 16i. So I am on my webcam right now. In front of you is the Reveal 16i. If I show it to you on the side, you see that it is a CCTV, very flat. And to open it, you only lift the top and then you place the screen in front like you would like to use it. So let me put it back here. I'm also going to be talking about the Connect 12, which is another CCTV, very small, very light, very portable. So to use it, you only place your finger in the front, you lift it, and then you have your screen in front of you. I will also be talking about the Explorer 8, which is a small digital magnifier. I'm going to be showing it to you in more details later. And I am going to be talking about the Explorer 5, which also is a digital magnifier. Okay, so let's get started. So the first point, let me go back to my front screen. Okay, so here we go. The first point that we want to talk about is the tasks that you have to do when choosing a product, either for you or for your customer. So what you have to think is what would be your main activity. So when we talk about a student, an adult at home, or a senior, different tasks are to be done. So later today, we're going to talk about many tasks, but in a resume, in a nutshell, you have to see if you're going to be using digital documents. So for those reasons, at school, when you need digital document, it's important to have connectivity. So if we talk about the Connect 12 or the Reveal 16i, those products have connectivity. You can share document, you can upload document, you can go on the internet. So it is something to consider. If you're going to be at home, let's say to read books or to cook, then your main activity is going to be able to carry your unit around the house. So you will need something that is lighter. As I showed you with the Reveal 16i, and let me go back, it is something that you can carry around the house. So if I go back here, if I fold my Reveal 16 or Reveal 16i, it's something that I can bring with my two hands. So it's going to be a task that you have to consider when choosing a product. And if you're with a student, you have to be considering their general condition. Sometimes with student, they have a low vision, but they may have another issue or some other handicaps. So one of the condition you have to see might be their back. If a student has a back problem or scoliosis, maybe you want to be using a bigger CCTV like the Reveal 16 or the Reveal 16i, because the screen is vertical, straight in front of you, so you can hold your back very straight. Let me do an example here. I'm sorry, I turned off my... So we're in front of the Reveal 16i. You can see that the screen is straight in front of you, and it helps you bring your back very straight. As with the Connect 12, it is an ergonomic way to use it, but it's more into an angle. Usually when you have a very young student, they're used to be working with inclined planes when they're 3 years old, 4 years old to draw, because they have to bring their material closer to their face. So it's natural for them to work on a Connect 12 with an inclined plane. So it is something that you have to consider. Also, we've been told by customers that some students need to work with a mouse to have more access to the data. So you need to choose a unit that is compatible with a keyboard or with a mouse. So it is possible to use the Reveal 16i or the Connect 12 with those units. I can show you an example with a portable keyboard. That's a keyboard we sell, and it is compatible with the Connect 12 and the Reveal 16. Let's say we go into the gallery, and I'm going to write some notes. So I select my notes. It's empty. I'm going to take another file. So if I want to write something in here, I can choose to write with the text. So I choose the text here, and then I enter my text, area, send it, and then I have the text on my sheet, and I've been using a wireless keyboard. It's possible to use a wireless keyboard as well with the Reveal 16 or the Reveal 16i. And it's also possible to use a regular keyboard that connects to the Reveal 16. So that is something you have to take into consideration. When you're choosing a unit, you also have to see what are the tasks they are going to do. So if they're going to do, they are going to use digital format. Like I said before, if they have to download books, if their other classmates are using a tablet as well, well, they would like to download their things also. You have to consider for students what they're going to be needing in class. Does the student needs a distance camera? So it is possible with the Connect 12 to use a distance camera that I have here. It is a Bluetooth. Let me choose another angle with a better light with me. So it is a distance camera that you can use with Wi-Fi on the Connect 12. So with that, the student is able to look at the board, either the smart board or just any blackboard. And it is possible for them to follow what's going on in class. And the the Reveal 16 also has a distance camera that can be used in class. So it is something to consider when choosing a unit, because one of the important tasks to follow in class is to be able to have a visual access to all the material that is available for the other students. So how does the student receive and turn in his assignment is something very important. When using some units, you have to make sure that you have connectivity. So if I can take the Connect 12 and show you a little example. Here it is. Sorry. It is possible for students to turn in their homework. So let's say I'm done with this homework. I go back here, I press and hold, and then I can see here that I can export the file that I've just done. So I press on export, PDF. Here it's going to be on my internal storage, but if I had a USB key, I could save it on a USB key for the teacher to bring it home and to correct it. But it is also possible to share it. If I press share, I'm still on my math example. So if I can press share, I can share it with Gmail. I can save it on the Drive, Skype. I can share it however I want. So if I type on Gmail, I'm going to have access to Android and to Gmail, and I am able to write the address and send it right away. So it is a very nice connectivity. And above that, if I take 5-finger, press and hold, I have access to Android. And in Android, I have access to all the apps that are available. In some cases, people use Google Classroom. So if I tap on Classroom here, it's going to open Google Classroom. Of course, here, this is my colleague Peter 26 class. But just for an example, like any other student, you have access to all of your material to upload and download when you have to give out some homework. Eric, before I go to something else, do we have any questions?
Hello, everybody. And Natalie, you're doing a great job. Don't give up. And it's going very nicely. Let me turn on my cam here so people can see me. There we go. And we do have a couple of questions, but one thing that we've noticed, and I think everybody's hearing, is that your mic goes off and on. So it's really when you move around, we kind of like faint that your sound goes a bit
Okay.
faint. So I don't know if it's the wire or something like that, but
Yeah, I'm checking it.
can you check that? And I'm
Yeah.
gonna in that time I'm gonna answer one question here that we have, and that person asked it in the chat and in the QA session. Does the device support Braille? And they do support when you go with an intelligent device like the Reveal 16i or the Connect 12. They do support Braille devices. You just need to download and configure Android so that they work with those Braille devices. For the prices of the keyboard that Natalie showed, you can go on the Humanware website and you'll have all the information there. So humanware.com, you can have all the pricing on there. Um, yeah, so I think that's it. So we can maybe continue with your list of how to choose the best device for your student or the person that's going to be using it.
Thank you very much. So we are still on the list of tasks that people have to do in order to choose a device. So my next question was, does the student or a senior person at home needs to go on the internet? So as I showed you here, you have access to all the apps. So it is possible to have access to Gmail or the internet to see information, copy it, bring it in your notes. So if you're visually impaired, and it is possible with the Connect 12 and the Reveal 16i, I is for interconnectivity. So let me show you if I go on Google, simply Chrome. So I'm already into Wikipedia, disease. Yeah, that's a funny word they choose. But if I
Can we
press and,
can we see your device,
oh,
Natalie?
I'm sorry. Let me go back. So I started from, let me simply go on four finger press and hold. So I have all of my apps. So if I take Chrome, I know it might be very small, but I tap on Chrome. Oh, I am brought on Chrome. So let me search for something else with my keyboard. Let me choose for vacation. Okay. Vacation, enter.
Because we
Uh,
do need vacation right now with what's
yes.
happening here.
So I
And I
wanted
have
to
just
have,
a little parenthesis here I want to add here. Uh, this somebody's asking where's Andrew and Peter. This is a low vision webinar. It's not a blindness webinar. And Peter and Andrew will be in with their webinar tomorrow. I think it is at the same time as ours.
okay, so while you were talking, I typed in vacation Wikipedia because I wanted to have a definition that I could bring into my gallery. So I tap here and I have the definition of vacations. If I press and hold, I'm going to have copy and I'm going to have a teardrop. So I highlight all the paragraph that I want to copy because sometimes it's hard to read straight from the internet. Some people would like to have preferences like white on black instead of black on white. So I tap on copy here and I go back into Prodigy by typing on the circle at the bottom of the tablet. And if I go into my gallery, I'm sorry, I lost what I was doing. I tap on gallery and I go into my notes. I can press and hold, I think. No,
No, it's going to be
here
in text. In text. Go back.
in text.
There's
Okay,
one more.
very good. Yeah, so in text in the gallery, I tap here and I have the word paste. So if I tap here, I have all of my definition that is typed here. And here, if I want to read it, I can enlarge it with, like I can do with any application. But if I want to have a different color background, I go into my settings and I select my preferred background, and then I can read it white on black. So if you need internet access or search on the internet, but you're low vision and it's hard for you, you can use, I did it on the Connect 12, but you can do it on the Reveal 16i as well. You have to be looking if you are going to be using the unit in class. So in elementary school, kids tends to be in the same classroom all year long. So you can have anything you want. But if you go for high school, college, or university, the Connect 12 is very popular because it is easier to carry from classes to class, and it's a full Android tablet, so you don't need to carry a computer above that. In school, do you have to use the same documents as your peer? So if you have to use
Just a little parenthesis here, which I found that can go into your discussion of the Android tablet. Somebody was asking what Android versions are on these devices.
what
So
Android? I'm sorry, Android.
Android versions that are in these devices. So on the
Okay,
Connect 12, we have Android version 6, and it's going to be a bit different for the Reveal 16i. It is the Android version 7.
yeah, very good. So when you're in class and you want to have access to all the same material as your peers, you have to consider that you need a unit that allows you to use the smart board connectivity, the distance camera. You also need to consider that you need a unit to use the electronic books, take exam, share your exam with your teacher when you're done. You need a tool that you can use in science as well. You need a gallery, you need to see the teacher. So those are criteria that you have to keep in mind. Um, do you have to turn in homework using Google Drive? So I showed you a little bit earlier. Do you need OCR? So here I copied a text, so it's the voice, it's not OCR because I didn't take a capture. But when you copy a text or you take a capture of a document, you can have the unit read to you. So here, if I So as you can hear, my tablet is reading the text out loud. So this is access to a text to speech or OCR. This is something you have to consider as well. Do you need to type on a keyboard? I talked to you about that. For how many hours a day are you going to be using your low vision aid? So it's important to choose a unit or a low vision aid that will last all day long. So the Connect 12 and the Reveal 16 and 16i will last around 7 hours. So it's good for a full day at school. You can also recharge them or you can use them connected to the wall. But if you have a place at school far from electricity, you can use your unit for 7 hours. And I showed you the little camera. This camera lasts for about 4 hours. So it is good for school. You can recharge it at lunch and then keep on going with it.
I'm just going to add something to these batteries. It all depends also on the usage that you're going to be doing. So if you're using the distance camera often, or you're using the lights on the devices often, then it will diminish the time that the battery will be kept, or the energy of the battery will be kept. And just a correction on the distance camera, it's not 4 but 2 hours
Oh, sorry.
of use. That's okay. We have a little question here. Does the Reveal 16i have OCR?
The Reveal 16i, yes, it does. I can do a little example. Let me put back my webcam. Now, if you hear that the sound breaks, please tell me. So I am in front of the Reveal 16i. I just turned it on.
Can you just lift the camera a bit, or?
Camera, yeah,
Yeah, there we go.
the
Perfect.
webcam. So here we go. Where I'm gonna go in camera option. Mode capture. So I'm only going to be capturing one page, but it is possible to capture more than one page. So let me put my book under it. Take a capture by tapping on the camera, the second button from the left. Here it is. Now it is saving and converting. And I am going to be bringing it into the gallery. So it will be possible to read. So save it. It was possible to read it straight from there also. So if I tap on the first word, no, I thought I was going to be able to read. Yeah. So I can read it and stop. I don't have the voice though, Eric. Can you help me? I'm not too.
Okay, can you press the play button? I just want to see what it does.
It reads,
Okay, so
but
that's
without the
that's
voice.
because that's because your audio is at off. So just use a, smart the smart shortcut to go back to your main menu. So it's going to be your two-finger double tap on the screen. Double tap, boom, boom.
Boom, boom.
Okay, then hit the back button.
Yeah, it
There
worked.
we go. So you're going to go to your settings,
Yes.
and then you have audio.
Yeah.
And usually you do this once. You see the speech is at off. That's why you didn't
Yes.
have any speech. You can have turned it on by doing a double tap on the screen, but keep it at document only, and that will have the voice on your documents when you read it.
Okay, very good. So since I saved my document, it is also in the gallery. So there it is. And I can start my reading.
He spoke in a whisper. My dear children, it is God who has done everything.
Perfect.
LLT.
Now,
Perfect.
I'm going to ask you a question here because somebody's been asking the questions here. What about the French language?
Oh,
I
it
got
works
somebody,
perfectly.
Annie Cheno. I don't know if she's from Quebec or France, but she's asking for that question. What about French? They said that it's not
Yes.
compatible in French, but it is compatible with French. You need to install the right language on your device. So again, use that shortcut, two-finger double tap on the screen to go back to your menu. Double tap, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Not press and hold, just two taps. Very quickly.
Speech.
Oh,
Okay,
no.
so go back. Sorry,
Yeah, I'm just
go
going to
back.
put my
Back.
speech on though.
Speech menu.
Okay.
3 items.
Are we in the menu? Okay, so we're okay. Good. Go back to your settings. So if you want to
Mhm.
have, let's say, French, or you want to have Spanish to be read out, or any other languages, you go to your settings, go to user interface, which is the first option on the top, and then you have system language. Yeah, you tap on system language. Right now, you only have US installed, English
English.
US. So you can tap on configuration.
Mhm.
And this will bring you to a list of languages that we support on either the Reveal 16i or the Connect 12. It doesn't matter. It's going to be the same interfaces, but we support quite a few languages. And if for this example, I'd like to have French, I go into French folder, and there's a couple of French voices. You need that voice install to have the right OCR done on it. So you can install either one. So you tap on Louise, go back, and then you see that little paper airplane on the top right corner. Don't press on it because it's going to take a
Oops.
bit of time.
Ah,
Okay,
okay.
depends on your connection to the internet. But you press on that little paper airplane, it's going to download the voices and then install the voices for you. And that will bring you to have automatically the French language detected on your OCR, or your menus also can be configured in French. So that's how you would do it. That's how you would include another language on your devices.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Eric. So I'm just going to put my camera in front of me to keep on going. So do you need a calculator? You need to choose a product that serves you the best. So the Connect 12 and the Reveal 16i have calculators that you can see here. Oh, you cannot see here. They can be used by students straight from while they're working. So you need to see that you have all the application you need on your the device you choose. Do you need a tool that allows you to do multitasking so you can do split screens with our products? Are other students in the class often working with tablet as well? So if some school are now more technology driven, so they do have tablet at school for all the students, it would be nice to have a Connect 12 for your student who is visually impaired, because he will be able to do the same thing as his peer.
So Natalie, can you maybe change mics? Because the microphone, I don't know, each time you talk, it goes up and down the sound. So
Yeah.
maybe, you know, in Zoom, you can change maybe the default mic that you can use.
OK. Mic sur le casque. Okay. This, I chose my office, do you hear me?
We can hear you. It's a bit louder, but I think it could be better. Tell me if I'm going to ask the users or the listeners if it's better or not. We have a question here. Not the person that was asking, can you switch to Natalie's screen when Eric is talking? Is that working now? I think I pinned the Natalie's video now on as a default. There was one question, can you choose the scientific calculator or the one default calculator? Yeah, so you can show that how to set it to a scientific calculator.
Yes. So if I type into my settings at the upper left, I have mode standard, scientific. So if I go back, I'm going to have a scientific calculator. To have more options, I have two arrow at the bottom. If I tap on it, I have all the functions I need to have a scientific calculator. So is the voice too loud, or it's fine that way with the mic?
At least it's constant, so that's
It's
good.
constant.
Yeah.
Okay. So I am coming to field trips or vacations again. So that's where you can have smaller products like the Explorer 5 or the Explorer 8. Those are 8-inch screen and 5-inch screen. You can choose those products because they're easy to carry in your bag, in your backpack. And the way you can use them, let's say at a zoo, the animals can camouflage very good. So you can ask help from other students to take pictures. And then when you have your picture in your Explorer, you can enlarge the picture and see more details. Do you need a tool with batteries? So we talked about batteries just before. You have to also evaluate if you want to read large books, paint, do other activities. That's when you decide to go maybe towards the Reveal 16 or 69, because you have a bigger place to do craft, paint with brushes, and all of that. Do you need to watch your presentation at a distance? We talked about distance camera. And do you need to read glossy magazines or glossy book? With our units, especially the Connect 12 and the Reveal 69, you can read big books. And the cameras are well made. They are polarized, so you don't have reflection from a glossy book. So that pretty much covers all my subject on tasks. If I do not have any more questions, I will go on the need for portability. Do we have any questions, Eric? Eric,
I'll
is
put
your
on
mic?
my video so that people can see me. Hello. Looks like it is annoying people that you don't see me. So, so your voice is good. People are, are reacting to that. So that's a lot better. And there was a question on if it's not an OCR device, can we change the language? Yes, you can on the let's say, for example, the Reveal 16 or the Explore, Audio Explore line, you can change the languages. It's going to change the text in the menus. Okay, so we can continue.
Okay, very good. So now when you evaluate your need for portability, you need to evaluate where you're going to be using your device. So are you going to be using your device outside? Do you need to bring your device in a backpack, in a purse, grocery shopping, at school, or it's going to stay at home? So At home, do you need to carry your device anywhere? So if you want to have a big screen like the Reveal 16, and you want to carry it from the kitchen because you're cooking, and then you want to bring it back into on the table because you want to read seriously or do some checks and accounting and stuff like that, you have to be able to bring it anywhere in the house. And as I showed you before, the Reveal 16 is foldable, and portable, so you can easily bring it from places to places. Do you need the portability, but a good size screen? So if you have to carry it in a backpack, you can have the Explorer 8. The Explorer 8, compared to other competitors, which are usually 7-inch products, you get 30 more viewable area with that. So it's nice to consider that pretty much for the same size, you have a big screen. You can take pictures, enlarge it also to see what you're seeing if ever you're looking for something that is too small for you. Some portable.
Natalie,
Yeah.
since you're talking about the Explorer, can you show how to flip the stand so that you can have a reading position that is right?
Yes. My
And while you're
webcam.
setting up, I'm going to answer one question. It was how many color contrast that the Explorer line has, and the Explorer line, the Reveal 16, it has the same numbers of colors. It's 16 colors that are available.
Okay, so here I'm ready to show you Explorer 8. So I just grabbed a book, a kid's book. So to turn it on, you just have to flip the stand in the back. You put it on your book, and then you're ready to read it. It slides perfectly from pages to pages. It's very well designed. You don't get stuck in it, and you can see words as well as colored image in a very high quality. You can also have a lot of functions to enlarge it. You can enlarge it up to 30 times, if I remember. And you can change black on white, white on black, and all the color schemes that you want. You get gray on black, blue on black. And you have access to menus to have access to your gallery, autofocus, the brightness, the touchscreen, the auto shut off, and your zoom. So it's a very complete unit as well. And when you bring it outside, you have two cameras in the back. One is for short distance, like a book, like I'm using. But if you flip the stand and you want to see far, I have nothing very interesting at my house. Let me put the color. You can see up to infinity because it's a distance camera that is that has a very high quality. Okay. For portability, some portable digital magnifier are touchscreen, and the image is easy to enlarge. So it might be something that you will need, and you can enlarge as much as 30%. So that's all for the portability section. If I don't have any questions, I'm going to go to the computer savvy people. Eric?
We're good.
We're good? Okay. So my third question was, are you computer savvy? Do you need ease of use? So if you're a senior, you've never worked with computer too much,
and you need something reliable but easy to use, you may want to go with something simple like the Reveal 16, which is big, 3 buttons, simple to use, or the Explorer 8 with like very big, 3 buttons, very easy to use as well. If you're more computer savvy, you've always been working with computer and you want to extend what you can do with your low vision aid, then you can go with the Reveal 16i or the Connect 12, which will give you all the access that I talked about earlier, like the access to the internet, email, everything you want on a computer can be available on your visual aid unit. Do you need technical support? So if you buy the product of a nice company that builds webinars like we do, access to the internet to have all the documents, the user guides, YouTube channel like we do, with videos on how-tos or how to do a lot of tasks, it is something that is nice to consider. And you will always have support from the technical team to answer your questions while you're learning how to use it. Do you need training or online training like we offer? Do you need a tool with different level? Do you need a simple mode, standard mode, advanced mode? A little bit like the calculator I just showed earlier. You had the standard calculator, but then for student in high school and college, you can have a scientific calculator. So it's a way to use the same product, but as you grow and you learn how to use it, you can have your product grow with you and give you more features. Do you have the support of your TVI, so your teacher for visually impaired, or are you the TVI? So you have to consider if somebody is going to be helping you, or otherwise we can be helping you learning how to use and maximize your product. Can you use option like manual focus or autofocus? So when you're using a unit like the Explorer 8, let me go back to my webcam here. Now if I turn it on, in the options, you have autofocus unlocked. And if I go there, I can lock it or use a manual focus. If I want manual focus, it's not going to be a good example in a house, but let me go back. If I see something and my hand's in front, I can choose where I want to focus. Do I want to focus on something that is very close to me? Or do I want to focus on something that is very far? Let's take the example of the zoo again. If I'm at the zoo and I want to see an animal that is far, but there's a big tree in front of me, I can focus on the far image. You can use gesture to easily access more options. So if you're computer savvy, we use the same gestures as any other Android tablet. What would you like to make touchscreen? Would you like to make touchscreen optional so you do not change your setting by mistake? So again, the product can grow with you. You can have the touchscreen on or off, just in case you don't really know how to use it to start with. You start with a CCTV or a magnifier that do not have a touchscreen to mix you, but then as you learn how to use it, you can add this on. Okay, so this is my section on computer savvy. Do we have any more questions before I go to my next section? I think your mic is off. Mine is too loud, but yours is off.
So we did have a little question that I had to go back to the technical specification on the weight of the Reveal 16i. The weight of the Reveal 16i all depends if you have a battery or not. But with no battery, it's 14.3 pounds, and with the battery is 15 pounds. Yes, it's a bit heavier than the Connect 12 or the competition, but it's really robust. It's really something that I can give a young student and will not break at all. And yeah, so that's the weight of all this, and it's going to come with you can have an option to have a carrying bag with the device. We're good.
We're good? Okay, so my fourth section. What is your need for connectivity? We're going to go fast on it because I talked about it earlier. So do you need to have access to Android? With our tablet, you have access to all the apps that you want that are available on Google Play Store. So you can download them on your product. We have Google Classroom, Hangout, Word, Zoom, Skype, so anything is available. You also have access to the internet, like Chrome for research or Explorer, just any access to the internet you want. You have access to books as well. In the United States, we work with Bookshare. So I'm just gonna do a fast demo of Bookshare. Let me bring my Connect 12 and go with my webcam. So we are in front of the Connect 12. It was just on pause. Let me go back to my settings. I'm gonna put the color black and white. And I'm going to go to our book application. So here it is. I logged into Bookshare. So in my library, I already downloaded a few books. Les Affaires, we had a question for French. So yes, it works. Heidi Ekelbeck, any books? And I can search for books by title, author, category, and content. So if I want Cat in the Hat, enter. So I see the book here, tap on it, and then I see that I have the right book. So I download it with the arrow, third button from the left. Then it's downloading and it's going to go into my library as one of my preferred book or accessible book. And I am going to be able to read it with voice. Let me go back. My library, here it is, it's added. So I can read it with the voice if I play it.
Cast in the Hat, notice this accessible media has been made available to people with bona fide.
And I can also read it. Let me go more into the book, table of content. I can see the images if I'm in page mode. I can also be in column mode or line mode if I want to have more access to read it. And I can switch pages to have access to the text and all the original images from the book as well. So this gives me an accessible access to reading, like it's a regular page right here. I can just pinch and zoom and enlarge my text. I can have it read to me.
I know it is wet and the sun is not sunny, but we can
I'll
have
stop
lots
it.
of good fun.
And then if I go back smaller, I still have access to my images. So if you need books, it's a good idea to have either the Connect 12 or the Reveal 16i. Do I need to have access to the file, to the same file at school as at home? So the Connect 12 is a tablet. You can save in the gallery your documents. You can bring it with a USB key and do your homework at home. So it is all available. Do you need to communicate with your classmates, your friends, and your family? So the accessibility is nice with all the apps that you have. You can use Zoom, Skype, the front camera when you use Zoom or Skype, so you can enjoy communication like everyone else does. So I'm done with my fourth section. Eric, do we have any question before I go on?
I was busy answering questions here on the Q&A.
Okay.
So yeah, I think I can answer these questions in the Q&A by itself. So I think you can continue with the webinar. That's good.
Oh, okay, very good. So my last question was, do you wish to keep files and pictures? So with the Connect 12 and the Reveal 16i, and it is also possible with the Explorer 5 and Explorer 8, you can take just any picture. If you have your Explorer 5 small unit and you want to take picture to bring back home, either a business card or something important, or just take picture like you would do with a camera, you can do it. It brings all of your information in the gallery, and you can keep it. If you need to work with PDF files at school, you can upload it from your USB key. You can also upload it from Google Transfer or any app application, and it will be brought inside of your tablet. Would you like to save file on the unit or on the cloud? So let me take a USB key and show you how you can upload something on your tablet. So now on my tablet again. So let me go into the gallery. Here it is. Oh, before I do that, I have to make sure that my tablet is ready to import something from a USB key. So I go on under it, take 4 or 5 fingers, press and hold. Then I go into my settings and USB. So I see here USB is connected to the computer. I toggle it because I have to have USB is not connected to the computer. Then I go back to Prodigy by tapping on the circle at the bottom of my screen. Here it is in my gallery. So I take my USB key. I have a USB port, but it's a USB-C port. So I use this connector. I put the key in here. I go into my settings and I have the import button. So I tap on import. Store and Go is the name of my key. So I tap on it. And then I see, for example, grade 6. I tap on it, English. And then I have a list of irregular verbs. I tap on it. Then it loads the document and it transfers it into my gallery. So here it is. I have all of my list of irregular verbs ready to work. I can even write on it if I want with a pen, type on it with my keyboard. So it is something to consider when you want to have access to document on your device. And you want to take picture and look at it on a big screen? Yes, you can use a USB cable that you plug from your unit into a bigger screen like your smart TV or just any other screen, and you can look at it enlarged. So that ends all of my questions that we should ask ourselves before choosing a low vision device. So Eric, do we have any questions?
Not I'm answering everything by the chats and all that. There's one interesting question here: how many TTS voice for OCR that we support? And we have more than 20 voices that we can support on let's say the Connect 12 or the Reveal 16i, and even on the Explore line. Um, So again, the French should be supported, and with all the other languages. Indian, there was a question on Indian languages. Fortunately, we don't support the Indian languages. India, there's a lot of English-speaking population, I'm guessing. So, uh, so that's what I would suggest for India, but there's no Indian language available on there. The latest language that we added was Arabic. That was added with OCR, and that's about it. You did really good, Nally. So I think we can conclude with the draw, because we have a draw of an Explorer 5 today in the list of people that have attended this webinar. And I'm gonna let you announce the winner, Nally.
Okay, very good. So I will start with last week. We draw a winner among people that are attending the webinar. So I take the list of people who subscribed. And last week, I drew somebody that was not there. So after the webinar, I realized it. And I draw the name of someone else that we already contacted. So the winner of last week is Marta Bergen. And the winner of this week of the Explorer 5, so that's the unit I was talking to you today, the small digital magnifier. The winner is Lisa Modena. So Lisa, if you're listening, you're the winner of this device. We have your email address, so we will be contacting you. So that ends my webinar for today. Next week, we're going to have another webinar at noon on Wednesday. You guys asked about one of our colleagues, Andrew and Peter. They're doing webinars for blindness every Thursday at noon, so tomorrow, if you want to join them. So, Eric, if we're done, I am ready to say goodbye, and we will see you next week.
See you next week, same time, same place.